Hey everyone, I'll be answering some hot takes today. Let's get into it. Our first take comes from someone who said that having Ronaldo in your team is a bit like having the Q on your tile racks at Scrabble. You get all excited when it appears because you know it would score a bunch, but somehow it just gets a lot harder for all the other perfectly good letters to score. Well, to start off with, that's a very interesting analogy to describe Ronaldo with, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. To put it in economics terms, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Put a star player in any team and they'll inevitably take away goals from the others. Think I'm lying? Let's take a look at Messi. Back in 2018, FC Barcelona broke the bank to sign a prime Philippe Coutinho from Liverpool. But at Barcelona, he flopped. Why? Well, one of the main reasons was because there was a certain Lionel Messi playing the same position. The same thing happened with Antoine Griezmann, Paulo Dybala at Argentina. Hell, even Zlatan's failure at Barca was partially due to Messi. Or let's take a look at Robert Lewandowski. In his last year at Bayern, this was the number of goals some of his teammates had. The year he left, this was what happened. That year, Bayern had a 5% decrease in number of league goals scored. The year Messi left, Barca had a 20% decrease in goals. The year Ronaldo left, 33%. They lost a third of the amount of goals scored. Now, this Reddit post was made 2 years ago, so maybe they were talking about the older, more washed up Ronaldo. In this case, the above still applies in that goal scorers take away goals from other players. However, being that United was already a pretty hopeless club at that point and Ronaldo couldn't seem to change much, maybe it's a bit more applicable. So yes, the statement is technically correct. However, it's something that can be applied to basically any other player. 4 out of 10 take. Now our next take comes from someone who said that Jorginho didn't deserve top 3 in 2021 Ballon d'Or. Didn't even deserve top 10 when Busquets does the same year after year and isn't even recognized. Now, this is a tough one because there's so many factors to consider, but let's start with the obvious. That last part, where it says Busquets does the same shit year after year and isn't even recognized. That is a 10 out of 10 take, and I will fight anyone on that. In the past 15 years, FC Barcelona have won 9 La Liga titles, 7 Copa del Reys, and 3 Champions Leagues, won the treble twice, and won a historic sextuple. In the past 15 years, Spain have won not 1, but 2 European Championships, a first ever World Cup, and did it all back to back to back. And who was the cog in the midfield, controlling the tempo, playing 1-2 touch football for all of these teams? It was Busquets. And after all that glory, success, and tiki-taka, how many Ballon d'Or nominations did he get? 1. In 2012 when he finished 20th out of 23. That is absolutely criminal. Here's a list of players who have done better in the Ballon d'Or than Busquets. In no world should Mario Götze and Mason Mount have finished higher than Sergio Busquets for the Ballon d'Or. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Point is, Busquets is underrated. So back to the main part. Jorginho didn't deserve top 3 in 2021. Well, let's take what we know. Jorginho won the Champions League and Euros with Chelsea and Italy that year, and he basically started every game for both teams. Just by that logic, he was the most successful player on paper that year. And in today's Ballon d'Or, that goes a long way. But at the same time, Jorginho wasn't even the best player for Chelsea. That was N'Golo Kante. And he wasn't even the best player for Italy. That would have been Donnarumma, considering he won Cup's best player. So the argument stands. How can you be a top 3 player in the world if you aren't even the best player on your own team? Well, if the Ballon d'Or was based on how good you were individually that year, disregarding team performance, then it's a simple answer. This is a good take. Because in some alternate universe where Kai Havertz hits the ball wide or England score penalties, Jorginho wouldn't even be top 10. But considering team performance, this is such a weird situation in that the major trophy winners all came from underdog teams without real star players, which is how Jorginho found his way into the top 3 to begin with. So really we should be taking a look at who else could have filled that third spot. The 2 players behind Jorginho that year were Benzema and Kante, both of whom had excellent campaigns in 2021. And they were both relatively more impressive than Jorginho that year, although Jorginho had more silverware/awards. So this answer really depends on how you would answer this question. To what extent does silverware extend your greatness? Sure, it may be great to score many goals, but does it matter if you don't win anything? Although Jorginho wasn't as impressive as Kante and Benzema, his play in that Busquets type of role was just as important to his team winning. So my answer to that question is that it is equally as important as individual performance. So because of that, I think it's fine that Jorginho got top 3, but it would have also been acceptable for someone else to have gotten it. So this take is accurate in that Jorginho didn't deserve top 3 individually, but considering the way the Ballon d'Or is nowadays, it's not that outrageous. 7 out of 10 take. And our last take comes from someone who said that Xavi would have been nothing without Iniesta. Well, just by looking at this, it's pretty obvious what the answer is. That's just plain wrong. I mean, take Iniesta out of Barcelona and Xavi still remains a top 5 midfielder of all time. However, when you think about it, there is a slight truth to this statement, especially with the Barca midfielders. First of all was the fact that Iniesta and Xavi were inextricably linked. Every trophy they won and every game they played was with each other, whether it was in La Masia, a La Liga game, or the World Cup final. Second was that because of the way both of them relied on tiki-taka and an outstanding soccer IQ to win football games, they made each other exponentially better. Put Xavi or Iniesta or Busquets in a counter-attack heavy, physical midfield like Real Madrid, and I very much doubt that their talents would have been utilized as well. So let's say for whatever reason, Iniesta was just never born. Gone. Well, what would realistically have happened? Pep Guardiola would still have become coach, and Barca would still have played immaculate football with Xavi dominating the midfield. Maybe a Cesc Fabregas or a Thiago becomes the new number 8 rather than Iniesta. Barca would definitely win La Liga multiple times, but did they win the 2009 Champions League without Iniesta? The 2011 one? Does Xavi win the 2010 World Cup without Iniesta hitting that last-minute goal? I'd say at the minimum, Xavi's trophy cabinet would have been less impressive than what it is today. But to say that he's nothing without Iniesta is a bit of an overstretch. 3 out of 10 take. Anyways, that's all the time I got for hot takes for today. I hope you enjoyed and thanks for watching.